April 19, 1775. The army of King George III is bogged down by skirmishes in Lexington and Concord. News travels fast throughout the countryside, and hundreds of militiamen from nearby towns come to harass the British as they retreat back to Boston. Scores of Minutemen come to Menotomy, modern-day Arlington, hiding behind trees, stone walls, homes, waiting for the exhausted and hostile regulars.
And they were so enraged at that point at having to fight for their lives all the way back from Concord to Boston Harbor that they were slaughtering anybody they found.
Likely the oldest Menotomy combatant, Samuel Whittemore, patiently waits behind the safety of a stone wall near what is now Mystic and Chestnut Streets. Whittemore was said to fight for England in King George's War and the French and Indian War, likely leading troops against Chief Pontiac in the Great Lakes region. During hand-to-hand combat, according to legend, Whittemore purloined a pair of French dueling pistols and a cutlass from opponents he bested. 12 years later, disgusted with British tyranny, Whittemore is now turning on the army he once followed.
He was one of many local militiamen who set up basically on their own doorsteps or thresholds. He lived not far behind us where we're sitting today and barricaded himself behind some stone walls, equipped with all the firepower that he had available, and as he is quoted saying, "I'm going to take a couple of redcoats with me."
As the regulars were in range, Samuel Whittemore shot point blank at a British regular with his flintlock musket. He then took out his French dueling pistols and fatally shot 2 more soldiers of the British Grenadiers.
First, Whittemore killed a couple of the regulars. He's reloading, grabs his cutlass. A couple of the regulars come upon him, and they thought they had dispatched him by bullet, by bayonet, by clubbing him, and they left him for dead.
The regulars left Whittemore to die in a pool of blood near the stone wall. Hours later, it is said, his family found him lying supine on the blood-soaked ground, trying desperately to reload his musket.
They dragged him off to a field hospital, barely alive. A couple of surgeons treated his wounds, and to the surprise of everyone, he survived that day and continued to survive for another generation.
When asked if he had any regrets about that bloody day in Menotomy, he's recorded as saying, "No, I would take the same chance all over again." Whittemore died on February 2nd, 1793, and was interred in Arlington's old burying ground.
It was his obituary, and it ran in a newspaper in 1793 called the Columbian Sentinel, which was a famous Boston newspaper of the day. It started publishing in the early 1790s, went for almost 50 years after that. You can think of this almost like a retweet. The story went national. There's a Philadelphia paper, the National Gazette. So this Gazette in Philadelphia runs it as a current news story. Died February 2nd instant, meaning this month, Samuel Whittemore of West Cambridge. And they run the whole text of his obituary right there.
"212 years later, in 2005, Massachusetts recognized Whittemore as an official state hero. This memorial marker stands now as a testament to Whittemore's uncanny valor in battle. It's been moved from time to time in the vicinity of the park that now bears his name.
He was one tough soldier on a day when a lot of tough soldiers died. I think it's important to remember him because it reveals something of what was going on right here in our town at that time.
Discrepancies with his age or the exact spot where Whittemore took his last stand is trifling compared to the astonishing bravery he possessed on the field of battle to help forge a new nation.
I think I've seen that spirit. I think I've heard it from many veterans of more recent wars, but it's that same, this is my home and I'm defending it, and I'm not going to leave without a fight.
For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.